there. But I'm telling you that you deserve an abundance, okay? That we are abundant, okay? This world, this life is full of abundance, and you too can be a part of that abundance, okay? Well, hello, beautiful people. It's your girl, Shai Bivia, and welcome back to another episode of the Legally Clueless Entrepreneurs Podcast, where I share overall a lifestyle, side hustle, and business gems that may help you to improve, scale, start, and grow your business, okay? Now, if you are tuning in for the very first time, I just want to say welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by and hitting that play button. You could have chosen to be elsewhere, but you chose to come over onto my podcast today, and I'm super excited and I truly appreciate you for that, okay? And if you are a recurring listener, thank you for, sticking around. This is a very new podcast. So if you've been following me, you should know that today's podcast is only podcast number 8, you guys, okay? But I am super excited because you know what? I did not stop, okay? I did not record one episode or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 and then decided to stop right there, right? Today I am at number 8. And I'm super proud of myself, and I do plan to continue to create, and to continue to make episodes every single week, hopefully, or do my best to do that because, you never know who you may be inspiring, right? To get up and do something. I am super grateful for the love that you guys have been showing me on my podcast. I'm looking here at my dashboard and I see I have people listening in from Kenya. Oh my gosh, 38% of my listeners are from Kenya. Shout out to you, Kenya. I haven't been there yet. I have been to West Africa, Ghana. That was beautiful, such a great experience, but I do look forward to going to Kenya as well. I have people listening in from United Kingdom, Japan, oh my gosh, South Africa, Israel, Puerto Rico, and man, I don't even want to mess this name up. Mauritius. I truly appreciate you. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas or whatever holiday that you celebrate during this time. I hope that it was well spent with family, and I hope that it was filled with laughter and love and peace and kindness, okay? This holiday may be different for a lot of people. I have people or I know people who have lost people, people who are there really close to, and so this holiday is really different and may be a little bit challenging. So I advise you to consider those around you who who have been through a rough year, whether this year, especially last year, to just reach out, and connect to somebody, at least one person that may be going through a rough time, right? Because this year has been challenging, last year has been challenging, so don't forget those who are going through a hard time. Yeah, but without any further ado, in today's episode, I just wanted to chat a little bit, right? So typically I would share like a business tip or side hustle gems and stuff like that since I've started my podcast, but today I feel really compelled to talk about the correlation of how we think and how it relates to the experiences that we have, and I wanted to talk about self-doubt and all of that good stuff, right? And I know this may sound cliche and everything, but it really does have a lot to do and a direct correlation to our experiences in life. How we think has a lot to do with what we experience. It is so easy to think negatively. I think it's one of the easiest things to do, honestly, and what I've been finding recently is that I've been really having to retrain my mind because, for the past few months, I found myself in a little bit of, I was somewhat just in a down place, right? And I was just thinking somewhat negative, like, oh my gosh, this is not happening or this can't happen. And I've been just saying all of these negative things, and I've really been forgetting the power of my tongue, the power of my words. And, my husband had to get me in line a little bit. He was saying to me, why are you, speaking, negativity and all of this. And mind you, I've always been the type of person who like to preach positivity and tell people to speak positive and listen to positive affirmations. And, I've read books about positive thinking and all of this. And I don't know what happened. I was just really in a down place. So I do understand how easy it is to just get back to just thinking that nothing is going right and nothing will ever go right. I do understand that because I have been there, right? Years ago, I used to do positive affirmations all the time, and I would always have great experiences, right? Because the first thing that I would do is just affirm myself and just speak life. I had this journal that I used to write in, and some of the affirmations I got was from this church that I used to go to. And it was just some powerful affirmations, I'm telling you. And some of it I remember like the back of my head because I can't even find the book now. I hope I could find it. But I could remember it like the back of my head because these are affirmations that I would say every day. Like I would wake up and I would say, today I am filled with the love of God. I am filled with the joy of the Lord. I am filled with the peace of God. Today I am just beautiful and wonderfully made, and I have enough and I don't have any lack. And I would just speak those affirmations. And I'm telling you, like every day, even when it seems like, I may not have enough, like I didn't tell myself that I didn't have enough. And, somehow God would just always come through, at the last minute for me. He would just always prove himself. Your thoughts are way more powerful than you think, than you can ever imagine. It's just unbelievable. When if you ever sit and try to dissect it and try to understand, it may be hard to understand how is it that what you think can come to pass. Only God knows really, in the supernatural realm, how that really works and how it comes to play. But it is so true, and I do believe it. I'm going to tell you guys a quick story, right? A few years ago, when I just came here to America, I had was living on my own. Well, long story short, when I was 18, right, I was living on my own, and I had just migrated here to the United States about less than a year, right, before that. And so I had to live on my own at 18. And it was really hard. I was just working at a fast food restaurant. I think I was juggling two jobs. So I was juggling two fast food restaurants at the time. And I was taking the bus. So I didn't have a vehicle. I didn't have my driver's license or anything like that as yet. I was just, taking the bus and all of that. And where I live, right, I was living in Princeton, but it was like suburban, right? So in order to get to the bus stop, you guys, I had to walk. Well, there were two different bus stops. In order for me to take only one bus to my destination, it was like a 30-minute walk, okay? So think about having to walk 30 minutes to the bus stop. That meant that I had to make sure that I left my house early, okay, in time to not miss the bus, right? Now, the second bus stop where I could take two buses, that was about a 16-minute walk. But either way, I had to make sure that I left my house early enough, right? So there was one day. Well, I think I'm going to try to tell two stories in one. But one day, I went to the grocery store and everything, and, I got a whole bunch of groceries. And at that time, when I didn't have a vehicle, I always felt like I needed a whole bunch of groceries, like if somebody gave me a ride. So that way I didn't have to worry about going to the grocery store for the next like 2 weeks or so. But this particular time, I didn't have a ride. And so I took the bus, and I was filling my cart with a whole bunch of stuff. And then when it was time to get to the register, I realized that, oh my gosh, I just had all of these groceries. And I was like, I don't even know why I did this to myself. So here I am, just dragging all my bags, right? My grocery bags on the bus and at the bus stop and everything. And mind you, at this time, for some reason, I didn't know about Uber and Lyft. I only knew about like regular taxis, right? That cost a lot of money. And I don't know if it's because I just migrated here from Jamaica. Jamaica didn't have Uber and Lyft, so when I came here, I just was not aware. Okay, I just was not aware of Uber and Lyft. This was in 2013, and I'm pretty sure Uber and Lyft was probably around at that time. But anyway, long story short, I didn't know about it. Okay, so anyway, I took the bus, and then it was time to be dropped off at my bus stop, and can I tell you, your girl was lagging these bags, okay? So I had my bags. I could barely manage the bags. I could barely take the bags. And I was just like, why did I do this to myself, you know? And so oh, and by the way, it was snowing too. Okay. It was cold. It was freezing cold. So think about your little Jamaican girl, your little island, Caribbean sunshine girl, just out in the snow in the winter time, like brutal, okay, in the brutal winter cold. And they didn't even clear a lot of the sidewalks as well. So a lot of the sidewalks still had like a whole bunch of snow on it, right? So just think about your little island girl out there struggling, right? To make a long story short, even though I said that before, I was there walking and I was just like, oh Lord. I was like, oh Lord, if only somebody could stop right now and offer me a ride, preferably a female, by the way. I was specific as well, okay, with my request. And I was like, if only somebody could stop and just offer me a ride, that would just be so wonderful. The moment I said that, literally, I kid you not, I was walking, I was literally struggling with the grocery bags, okay? The moment I said that, literally, a lady pulled up and she was like, oh my gosh, sweetie. Oh my gosh, do you need help with those grocery bags? Do you need a ride? And mind you, I had about 15 more minutes to walk, okay? But I was struggling, okay? That 15 minutes literally felt like an entire hour because it was so cold and I had all those groceries, okay? And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And it was just crazy to think that I literally thought that, and then somebody literally pulled up in less than a minute after I thought that. And that really reminded me of how powerful our minds and thoughts are, right? And so that is why it is so important to be careful of the things that you think about yourself and the things that you think, about what you're capable of and what you're not capable of. Stop telling yourself that you're not enough, or, because your family was this, or because your mom and your father was this and that, that you have to be this way, right? Stop telling yourself these things. Stop speaking negativity over your life. Whatever you put out there, you're already just speaking it out there to the universe. You're telling the universe that this is what you believe and this is what should happen to you, right? So you just have to be careful of the things that you speak and start thinking and imagining yourself where you want to be, right? Start telling yourself who you want to be, who you want to become, and watch it come to pass, okay? Listen, let me tell you guys a quick another story, right? While I was taking the bus, to and from work, from Princeton and everything, I remember one day, I was paying rent. I was living in a nice house. Glory be to God. God was gracious enough to bless me with the opportunity to live in a really nice house in Princeton. The landlord, she traveled a lot for work, so she was never really there. So it was really only me, and I was paying like $400 or $500 per month, and that included included everything, like all utilities. It already had a bed. Listen, I had absolutely nothing. Okay, so that was everything to me. But at the end of the day, I was working at fast food restaurants and stuff like that. And so, working at fast food restaurants, it's not really much money that you make, right? And so I was barely making ends meet and all of that. And so I was taking the bus, and, even bus fare in itself was a lot to me, right? And so one day I was taking the bus, and I was just so sad, on my way from work. And I was just like, Lord, if only I didn't have to pay bus fare. I think that was my thought, right? I was just like, if only I did not have to pay bus fare, for at least 1 month, that would be great. Like, just take that burden away from me somehow. And so I was getting off the bus. So where I lived in Princeton, by the time it was time for me to get off the bus, there was hardly anybody on the bus. It would usually only be myself, or this other lady that I eventually became somewhat close to, and this other guy, right? Because, like I said, it was very suburban, and just nobody really took the bus in that area. And so when it was time for me to get off the bus, it was only myself that was on the bus. I was all the way in the back of the bus. After I was just there sad, and just thinking about, finances and stuff like that, and just kind of like praying to God. It was time for me to get off the bus. When I was walking off, I saw like this little ID card right on the seat. So I just took it up. I didn't look at it because in my head I was like, okay, it must be like somebody's ID. Somebody left their ID on the bus. So I decided to take it up to the driver. Again, I didn't even look at it because it just appeared as if it was like an ID card. So I took it to the driver, and I was like, hi, somebody left this in the back of the bus, here you go. He looked at it, and he was like, well, this is not going to be any use for me, so you can keep it. And so I was like, no, here, somebody left it. I insisted to give it to the driver, and he was like, no, honey, you keep it. Okay, you have better use for it than anybody else will. And so I was like, okay. I walked off. I looked at the card. It was literally an entire month's bus pass. Okay, blew my mind. I could not even believe it. I kid you not. Okay, and mind you, this was again at the beginning of the month, and this bus pass was for an entire month. Okay, for an entire month. That meant that I could transfer. I could take as many bus rides as I wanted to with this particular bus pass, right? With New Jersey Transit. And that meant so much to me. Oh my goodness. Like, for a lot of people, it may just seem, trivial and like not much, but it meant so much to me. This, little Caribbean girl who, just came to, America and was just, working fast food, and could hardly make ends meet, and could hardly afford sometimes, bus fare. And so that meant so much to me, you guys. But what blew my mind really was that I literally sat there in the back of that bus, and I was just so emotional and just so sad. And it was just, I just asked God for, that was specifically my request, okay? To be able to pay my bus fare for the entire month. That was specifically my request. And that blew my mind to have walking off that bus that day with literally an entire bus pass. You can't tell me that that's not God, or you can't tell me that, I know not everybody that, that may listen to this podcast may believe in God, but you can't tell me that your mind is not powerful, okay? And you can't tell me that what you think and what you say and believe about yourself and ask God for, put out there in the universe, right? You can't tell me that it can't come to pass, right? And so I am a living witness. It's just very important. I just wanted to share that, it is very important to be careful of, the things that you think. I know it's hard, and I know life gets hard. Our circumstances may want us to believe that we cannot have any better, or this is the only thing that we deserve and that we don't deserve more. But I'm telling you that you deserve an abundance, okay? That we are abundant, okay? This world, this life is full of abundance, and you too can be a part of that abundance, okay? So don't just look at celebrities and artists and all these different people and just tell yourself, oh, I'll just sit by here on the sidelines and just watch their life because that's all I can do. I can just sit back and watch. No, you can absolutely be a part of that. I do not care where you are from. I do not care what your experiences have been. Yes, I do care, right? I do care about you, right? But I say that to say it doesn't matter. Okay, that let me rephrase that. It doesn't matter where you are from. It doesn't matter what your experiences have been, right? You too can have an abundance, and you too can have what you say, and you can have the desires of your heart, right? So if there is a dream house or a dream car or a family or, business that you strongly have a desire to have, you can have that. If everybody else can have that, why can't you? What's the difference with you and that individual? You know what is the mind? It's what you believe about yourself. It all starts from the mind. And as cliche as that may sound, I am telling you right now, because when I find myself in low places and I tell myself, "Oh my gosh, I can't," and this is not happening, and it's I just keep talking negativity. You know what happened? Negativity is what happens because that's what I've already spoken. That's what I've already believed. So the universe is like, okay, okay, she wants negativity or she doesn't want it to happen, so it's just not gonna happen, right? That's it. That's somewhat how it works. It's really hard to explain, and I'm not the best person at explaining that, right? So I'm just doing my best. Just be careful of, what you think, okay? The other day I was listening to I came across this random story on social media, and Brandy, the artist Brandy, was talking, and she was just talking about being positive and thinking positively, and when you think positive, then you attract positive experiences and all of that, and that is absolutely true. I don't know if you've ever read the book The Law of Attraction, I believe. Oh my gosh, that book is so powerful. If you have never read that book, The Law of Attraction, I will try to include that in the show notes. It is so powerful. That book will change your mentality. I read it a few years ago, and I really do feel like I should read that book again, but she said something very powerful, Brandy. In this interview, she said learning how to think is learning how to live. Oh my goodness, that blew my mind. And I was like, you know what? That is absolutely true. That is more, if you really dissect that, that is a lot more than just the surface. Learning how to think is learning how to live. Okay? If you think negatively, if you tell yourself negative things, about yourself, about your family, about your life, then guess what? You're going to attract that. And those are the experiences that you are going to have. But when you think positively, again, I do understand that life happens and we experience negative things in our lives. And that's okay to acknowledge it, right? It is okay to acknowledge that, I am going through a rough time right now, or, you need to go to therapy or whichever. It is okay to acknowledge those negative experiences, but you can also counteract that by speaking positive affirmations. Okay, I'm going through a tough time right now, but I do have an abundance. And this situation that I'm going through right now is not going to last forever, right? If you're a spiritual person, or you believe in God, you can quote scriptures and remind yourself of what your Father or what God says about you, who you are in God's image, right? Okay, and that you have an abundance and that God has more than enough to give to you, okay? If God can create this entire world, if he can create this entire world, right, what makes you think that he cannot grant you the desires of your heart, right? What makes you think that? Okay, so I just wanted to jump on here today to just encourage you to just refocus, recenter, rethink, right? And sometimes we just have to retrain our minds, right? You know, because sometimes we've just been in a rut and everything, and sometimes we've been around the wrong people, the wrong energy. And so today, I just wanted to encourage you to choose peace, right? Choose to welcome in the experience of high vibrational energy. Choose to experience love and, you know, just great opportunity, divine peace, balance, and mindfulness. Okay. And so if you want to, you can add this to your affirmation. You can say something like, today I choose love. Today I choose to let go of past hurt and self-judgment. Today I am filled with the love of God. I am thankful that I have an abundance and I am more than enough. I have more than enough. Today I welcome, and I only welcome, good energy and positive thinking. I block all doubt and negative energy, negative thinking from my mind. Oh my gosh. If you say that every single day and you say that with true meaning, right? True meaning and assertiveness or assertion, right? You will see a drastic difference in your life. As a matter of fact, I'm going to just repeat that one more time, right? Today I choose love. Today I choose to let go of past hurt and self-judgment. Today I am filled with the love of God. I am thankful that I have abundance and I have more than enough. I am more than enough. Today, I only welcome good energy and positive thinking. I block all doubt and negative thinking from my mind. Beautiful people, I encourage you to remember who you are and whose you are. And remember that you will have what you say. All right, well, beautiful people, it was an absolute pleasure being on here today. Today's episode was a little bit different, like I said, but I'm so happy that I was able to come on here and just share my heart, because I've just been in that mood, since lately. I hope that you were able to get something from this episode. Okay, like this episode, download, share, save, all of that good stuff, so that you won't miss out on another episode from me. Again, it was your girl Shy Bivia. You can find me on YouTube as well at Shy Bivia, D' Empress. Okay, that's Shy Bivia, SHI, as in Bravo, I, V as in Victor, I, A as in Alpha, D as in Delta, Empress. Okay, you can find me on YouTube. You can also find me on Instagram at The Fly Shy Girl. I don't know why I have so many different handles, but I'm figuring it out, okay? I am figuring it out. But you can find me on Instagram. I love sharing stories, so you can see a lot more of me definitely on Instagram and on my Instagram stories, okay? That is at The Fly Shy Girl. That's THEFLYGYRL. So girl is spelled with a Y and not an I. That's The Fly Shy Girl. Okay, so you can go on over to my Instagram and let's connect that way. And again, we can also connect on YouTube. Okay, well, again, it's your girl Shy Bivia, and listen, it was an absolute pleasure. Okay, let's continue to get well together, and I'll see you guys later. Be blessed. Bye bye.